Hey guys, how's everybody doing today? Good. Be a master manifestor. That's the thing, man. How do I become a master manifestor? That's that's the thing. Have have you ever considered? Have you ever like thought like why do we have emotions and feelings, right? You ever thought about that? It's like, man, why couldn't I just have? Why couldn't everything just make sense to me? And why do I have to suffer from like self-sabotage? Why do I have why is my mind like constantly beating me up, so to speak, like my mind will make me feel like I'm not worthy, I'm not good, you know many of us have thought about that, right? I've considered that because I have done it. We all have been there, right? Like, why is my mind treating me this way, man? Why can't I get control of my mind? That's the big thing, right? Why can't you get control of your mind? Well, today that's what we're going to discuss. I'm going to show you why your mind does that and how you can gain control of your mind and how you can free yourself from the matrix, so to speak, or free yourself from negativity, toxicity, and just be your own being. So first, the thing we have to consider is this, right? Is we have these different personalities. We have multiple types of different personalities. We have a personality that's ingrained in our thinking mind. We call that our ego. But we also have another personality that's in our subconscious. So we actually have two people living in one head. Think about that. It's really true. There's actually two people. You have the ego and then you have the subconscious mind. And they both have their own personality. I mean, I call it the maps of reality. So imagine you have two people. Now you know why there's so much problems in your mind, in your head, in your world. Because you're literally fighting against two different personalities. Now, one of the personalities you are aware of, the personality you're aware of is in your head. It's called your conscious mind. The personality that you're not aware of is in your subconscious mind. And unfortunately, it's a subconscious mind personality that messes us up. That's the one that kind of catches off guard because it's a surprise personality. It's like a surprise attack. It's like, oh, I didn't know this was there. The other one, is there because in your regular ego mind, right? You can think about stuff you want. You can decide to do something. You can dream something. You can visualize something. You could analyze something. You have a choice. You could decide wrong or right or wrong, right? So that part of the mind we can control. But the other part of the mind doesn't work that way. The other part of the mind controls itself based on a program it picked up from when I was a kid. Greetings, everybody. Greetings from Singapore. I see all you guys coming on. Greetings from France. Hello, hello, hello. So the thing is, it's all about knowing the authentic self versus the fake self. I call it the fake self. There's the authentic self and there's the fake self. The fake self is the ego-driven self. The authentic self is the higher self. Now, first of all, here's something everyone needs to know. You all have a higher self. It's part of the way things work. Granted, many of you aren't in contact with it or aware of it. It's there. And it uses language a lot different than your ego does. See, your ego likes to talk to you with rationality and logic. Your authentic self don't necessarily use that tone. Your authentic self kind of communicates with you from a different dimension. It's going to communicate to you primarily using your subconscious mind, the same subconscious mind that holds your blocks. It can communicate to you that. And it uses a special tool. One of the most famous or the best language tool your authentic self will use to get stuff to you is your intuition. That's right. Your intuition, your gut feeling. That's the strongest language. It is the second strongest language it uses. It sends stuff to you in dreams. It's going to use your dreams to talk to you, to warn you, to help you, to make you aware. Most people take for granted their dreams. A lot of us think our dreams are meaningless, because when we dream something, it doesn't make sense, right? But all your dreams have meanings, people. You just don't know how to decode them. And that's your authentic self talking to you. The reason you don't know this stuff is because this stuff is not going to be taught to you. The matrix, as I call it, they want you to be in the logic mode. Logic mode. That's where they want to keep you at. When you're in logic mode, you're never going to get that big breakthrough. You'll never see the aha moment. You'll never understand who you are. You'll just be stuck in logic, analytical mode. And that's what your mind wants to do to you. It wants to keep you in the logical, analytical mode. Now, you don't want to be there. Because if you're there, you're going to miss out on what reality really is. So let me break it down and show you now the ego versus higher self. Traits, characteristics, overcome it. All right. So the ego is very smart because it can reason and it has rationality. Got that? Next thing, the ego wants to control. You guys are always heard, yeah, the ego is a survival mind. It's a survival mind. It wants to survive. That is correct. But what is survival to the ego? In plain English, survival to your ego is control. So just keep this in mind. Your ego always wants to control the narrative. It will always want to control you. Okay? That's the ego. Number two, how does the ego control me, Mark? What does it do to control me? All right, so here's what the ego does to control you. Because you're constantly experiencing reality, right? You're going through things, so you're going to have memories, which you call your past. You're going to have dreams, or you're going to have aspirations, which you call your future. Let's focus on the past first. So the ego loves to use the past to control you. What it really does, it goes back to all of our faults and our failures. And it constantly reminds us of what we are not doing right, or what's wrong with us. And it does that for control. Why does it do that? Because if it can control me to remind me of my mistakes, I am less likely to take risk to change, because I'm going to feel like I'm going to mess up again. That's what my ego wants. So are you understanding something here? All right, let me put it in simplistic terms. Let me make it even simpler for you. Your ego does not care about your happiness. Your ego just wants you to be the same way you were or you are for the rest of your life. That means if you're a person and your life is crappy, your ego is going to keep that crappy program, because it wants familiarity and it wants to see you do the same thing over and over. That's why when you go try to take change of your life, think about it. Why do you think it's so hard to make a change, man? All of us, everybody have this person or friend, or you know them. You ever had that person? This may be you yourself. Have you ever had that person that's always talking what they're going to do, but they never do it? Have you ever had the person that's always talking like, man, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to change my life. I'm going to get this. I'm going to move here. I'm going to start this business. And they've been doing it for like 10 years. That's an example of the ego working its magic. Just talk, man. You've all seen them. It's like, man, he's been saying that for like 5 years. Bro's been saying that for like 2 years and nothing's changed. Why? Because every time you attempt to go make the change, now, I'm not saying that these people are just doing it because they're just ignorant. No, these people actually, they want the change, but here's what's going on. When they say, I'm going to do this, right? When they attempt to do it, they're going to be reminded in their mind about their past, man, about their failures. And when they remind their failures, they're going to take it personal, and they're going to get timid, and they're going to panic, and they're not going to make it. They're not going to make that risk. They're not going to take that calculated risk. And if they don't take that calculated risk, they're going to stay the same. And let me show you how the mind even helps them to not make the calculated risk. You know what the mind will do? When they're ready to make that calculated risk, man, the mind will come in. Keep in mind now, this is the same mind that was beating you up, telling you what you did messed up and why it won't work. Keep in mind now, okay? This is the same mind that's telling you you can't do it. But when you go try to make the calculated risk, okay, this same mind now will try to comfort you from not taking the calculated. So your mind will beat you up, and then it will finesse you back. And let me show you how it does it. So you want to make the change, your mind reminds you, man, remember last year you did that business, bro? It didn't work out. How about that relationship? You keep attracting these type of toxic men or toxic women. Man, if you get with her or him, they're just going to use you like they did use you last time. You know you ain't good at that. Why even try to do that? See? That's how it's going to work its magic. Then one day is going to come. You're going to get fed up because you're tired of like being stuck. So you're going to try to make a move, man. You're going to be like, man, I can't take this anymore. I can't be in this toxic stuff. I got to stop failing. I got to start making something of my life. And you decided, and you go take this calculated risk. Your ego's going to come back to you now and say, hey, it's okay, bro. It's okay. We can take our time. Don't take this risk right now. Let's wait. That's its biggest secret. The waiting game. It says, don't rush. Let's wait until the right time. My friends, there is no such thing as the right time. My friends, waiting is a state of mind. It's not even real. That's why you see these people, they will be saying the same thing for 20 years because they're being finessed by their mind telling them, let's wait. Don't do it right now. Things are kind of rough. It's going to work out for us. Let's just chill. Just go back to your job. Da-da-da-da. And you're going to have this constant back and forth. That means it's going to finesse you, then it's going to bring you back to toxic. Then it's going to remind you again about the past. And they're going to throw it. See, so you're going to do is flip-flop. It's flip-flop. And some people do this for the rest of their life, unfortunately, man. Some people do this for like 20, 30 years. Before they realize, like, yo, I've been played by my own mind. That's right. That's right, my friends. Waiting is a state of mind. It's not real. And here's another one. Here's another gem for you. There is no such thing as the perfect time. The perfect time is always now. That's what your mind does to you. It gives you these false trickery, and then you stay and you wait. 1 month goes by, 6 months go by, 2 years go by, 3 years go by, and you're still waiting, man. You're still waiting. Let me break something down to you. It's never going to change. You're going to run this play until you get old, until you die. Your mind's going to run this play until you step in and call a timeout and substitute your mind out the game. If you can't see the play run on you, you're going to get blown out, man. Every game you go, you're going to lose. You're not going to have a winning record. You're going to be below 500 every time. You're going to retire with a losing record. Okay? You want me to get deeper to show you even more about how your mind works? All right. Check this out. Your ego knows. Listen to this. This is a game changer right here. Your ego knows who you truly are. And it's not going to tell you. Let me repeat that to get to. In other words, your mind knows that you are not the mind. Your own mind knows that you are not the mind. Your mind knows that you're an observer of your mind. But it will never tell you that, in other words, it won't say to me, yo, Mark, I just want to let you know, man, that I'm a servant and you're the boss. But I'm not going to let you know you're the boss. I'm just going to keep playing you and make you think I'm the boss. That's, your mind knows that. You want to know how I can prove it to you? I can prove it to you and show you how your mind knows that. Matter of fact, what is this? Okay, I'm going to prove it to you and show you how your mind knows that. Everybody that's watching this right now, here's what you do. Stop for a minute, and I want everybody to do this exercise, and you're going to see this stuff. I've done this before. I put this in a video, but I know this. I get new viewers every day, so some people haven't even been exposed or know how their mind works. So here we go. So everybody, here's what you do. I want you guys to go ahead right now and think of a positive thought. Okay? When you have the positive thought, good. Now, let that thought go. And what I want you to do now is to go back in there and think of a negative thought. Let that negative thought go. Let's go back again. And now what I want you to do is to think of a negative thought. Okay, if you get this negative thought now, I want you to turn that negative thought into a positive thought. Good. Here's the thing. If you were your mind, you could never do that. If you were your mind, you don't have any control. You couldn't control your thoughts. You couldn't take a negative and turn it to a positive. You couldn't magically make a positive thought like I showed you. You couldn't magically make a negative thought. What you are, you're the observer of those thoughts. Those thoughts are created because you initiated those thoughts to come in, meaning you are the observer of the projection of those thoughts. Voila! How many people know that? You are the third person witnessing the mind. You are not the mind. Now let me show you why you think you are the mind. And it's all about how we're wired. And the reason why your ego does this is because it knows how you're wired. Your mind is very smart, guys. Your mind knows that you are wired because it knows you feel emotions, man. What makes us stay? What makes us go? What makes us react? Our feelings. Feelings seem real, right? You wanted to hear the next shocker? Feelings aren't real. Nothing is real. Feelings and emotions, they don't even exist. What we are experiencing are electrical stimuli created through chemical and electrical stimulus. And our nerves sends a shock of impulse to your brain, and your brain creates a trickery, and your body feels something. They have no meaning in actual reality. They are a perception of our brain. Look, if feelings were real, they could manifest instantly. It doesn't work like that. If my feelings were really real, I could sit here right now and I could think of a pot of gold with billions of dollars. Boom! It would manifest instantly if my feelings were real. Because my feelings create my reality. Okay? Now, you tell me what's going on there. Here's what's going on, people. Here's what's going on. So someone may say, well, bro, how can you say feelings aren't real, but yet we manifest through our feelings? Not necessarily, my friend. We manifest through repetition of a particular process. In other words, when I keep thinking of something over and over again, it creates a vibration. That's what I manifest. Yes, feelings initiate it, but that's not what manifests stuff. It's the repetition of my focus that manifests the stuff. Your feelings are only real to you because your brain is giving you the perception that you're feeling something. And when you feel something like that, you're going to send off a vibration. And the universe has no choice to respond to your vibration. Okay? You see how that works? All right, so let me drop the next gem for you guys. So this is a question I get asked a lot, man. We're going to go back into the mind, but I got to show you how this stuff works, because if you don't know how this stuff works, you're not going to, your life is not going to change. You're going to be stagnant, man. So here's the next one. The universe. What is the universe? Does the universe test me, Mark? Is the universe putting me through a test here? Is the universe aware? Can the universe think? Can the universe know my every desire? Can the universe decide if I deserve something or not? Mark, am I being tested? I keep going through this stuff. I keep meeting the wrong people. The universe is testing you, bro. Universe testing you, man, because, you know, the universe want to make sure you're ready for your manifestation, you know? So it's going to put you through these tests. If you're worthy, you're going to get it. If you're not worthy, the universe says, all right, take more time. That's a very popular teaching. Very popular teaching. But I'm about to break it down. I'm going to shatter it to tell you that the universe doesn't work anything like that, my friend. If you hear that teaching and they're telling you the universe is testing you and the universe is making sure you're ready for it, that is false. I'm going into the laws of physics to show you how the universe works. I'm going into the laws of science, where you cannot refute that, where you can go experiment with that. And I'm not going metaphysics. I'm going super physics. I'm going Planck scale physics, Planck energy physics. I'm going neutrinos, quantum particles, boson, hexons, string theory stuff. So that's what I'm getting into right now. And let me show you how we do it. I'm going to make it very simple for you. The universe, the part that gets you everything you desire. The universe exists in two parts. The universe exists as consciousness, awareness, which means you are the universe. That's one part. Then the universe exists in another part, which is called the electrodynamic part, the part of energy, motion, and particles. Okay, so this will make sense to you now. I repeat it. The universe is two things in one. The universe has a part where it's conscious, it's aware. That is you. The universe has another part where it's all physics with particles and energy. Okay? Now let's focus on the one that gets you what you want. The part of the universe that gets you what you want is the energetic scale. Okay? So let's say you want money, because people want money. Or maybe you want to find a perfect relationship. Okay? I see you guys have questions. I'm going to get to these questions in a minute. Someone says, okay, let me get to this. If emotions are not real, why people who stress too much destroy their health? Okay, because emotions, when I talk about emotions are not real, what I mean by that, I am talking about in your outer world, what you let dictate you in your outer world is not real. You're doing it to ourselves. But here's the reason why emotions affect. Because the body creates what's called these stress hormones, which is called cortisol. And anytime we have elevated blood flow, right, the body will create these to fight. It's called fight or flight. It calms us, it's supposed to calm you down, but it creates cortisol, which has an adverse effect on the body. So that's why people destroy themselves. But it's not emotions that create that. It's just the body's response to fight or flight, which then you could say it's an emotion. So look, I want you guys to understand, I'm not saying that your emotions aren't real. I'm not saying that what you're feeling isn't real. It's real to you. But what I'm talking about, I'm talking bigger picture. I'm saying in actual reality, in the present moment, none of that stuff exists. It's a concept. Because if you think about it, I could have emotions of joy, and I could go to an emotion of peace. I could switch my emotions at any time. It's a state of being. That's what I want you to understand. So a lot of people get caught up in their emotions, and they think like, oh, it's a concept, guys. You can change emotions. You can change all that. So that's what I mean by that. Now, let's go back to the universe, right? So remember, universe, two parts. There's a consciousness, and there's the electrodynamic part of the universe. Now, whenever you want to get something, okay? Let's say you want to manifest money. You're going to work with the electrodynamic part of the universe. Okay. Now, let's say you want to manifest peace of mind. You want to be awakened. You want to have knowledge, understanding. You want to have heightened intuition. You're going to work with the awareness or the conscious part of the universe. You see that? Now, let me talk about the conscious part of the universe. The conscious part of the universe is you. It's not independent. So let me go back to the old saying where someone says, is the universe testing me? You are the one that's testing your own self, and you think it's the universe. You bring separation. There is no other. It's you. You are the universe. So when someone says, I'm testing, you're testing your own self via your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is playing you, and you think it's the universe because that's what you were taught. You're doing it to your own self. You're your own God. You're your own demon. You're your own devil. You're your own savior. They aren't outside of you, people. They're in you. It's through your subconscious mind. So what I'm actually saying to you, when people believe that they're being tested by the universe, they're being tested by their subconscious. So they're sabotaging, doing it to their own self. There's no independent thing outside telling you that. So bloop, that myth is confirmed now. Let's go to the next myth. That myth is proven now. Let's go to the other one, the electrodynamic part now. Here's what someone says. Man, but can I get everything I desire? The universe may just give me what I need. No. You give yourself what you need. The universe is going to give you on an electrodynamic frequency. The universe says, all right, man. Okay, I'm feeling abundant. The universe just will give you abundance. I'm feeling lack. It's going to give you lack because it's two different frequencies, high and low. See that? There's no intelligence there. It's just how it works. So it's like you put a signal out, the vibrations go to high or low. So in other words, every decision, everything you're doing it to yourself. They've taught you that there's something outside of you, people. They've taught you that there's this universe that judges you and tells you what you can and is testing you. We are all doing it to ourselves, guys. I say it again. You're your own. All the demons, all the devils, all the angels, all the gods, they are all residing in you. You're the one projecting them out, and then the society and the matrix is making you believe that there's some existential force outside of you that controls your own destiny, your own thoughts, feelings, that you don't have any control. It's the universe testing you. My friends, I'm about to blow it and keep it real with you. It's called the tool that's controlling all of this is called your subconscious mind. Let me repeat that again. It's called the subconscious. Or let me make it easy for you. It's called the unconscious mind. That may make more sense to you, because when it's unconscious, it means you don't know it's there. That's why you believe that there is something outside of you doing all this stuff. It even comes down to spells and hexes. You know, when people say, I'm going to put a spell on you and all that, and people believe they've been spelled. The spell was put on you by your own subconscious mind. There's nobody out there that can put a spell on you but yourself, people. Nobody can put negative hexes on you but yourself. It's your belief. And your subconscious is so smart and stupid that if you believe it and you put the energy to it, your subconscious is going to manifest it, and then you're going to say, damn, she was right. She did put a spell on me. Oh my God, she told me that. And you think somebody's controlling you. This is a billion-dollar industry. Why you think religion is so powerful? Why you think the guy comes and says, I can heal you? You just healed your own self. God told me to heal you. God didn't tell him jack. You were healed because you believed you were healed. Your subconscious believed that stuff. Oh man, if you don't do what I say, you're going to mess up. The fear, you believe that your subconscious manifested. And then you say, oh my goodness, it's real. This person told me I was going to do it. The person didn't tell you jack, man. The person just told you what was already, what you were fearing, man, and you did it to your own self. That's the big thing here that people have to understand, man. People, and this is done on purpose. You're right. That's what they call faith. Be what they call faith. All right. So let's go back to the ego. Someone says, can you talk about how praying works? Praying is the same thing, people. I'm going to tell you a story. Okay? This is my personal story. And this is how, you know, you get the aha moment. When it came to prayer, it was the aha moment for me. So I remember when I used to go to church, and I would always pray, right? And I'd pray to like God, where they tell me to pray to God. And I'm like, okay, thank you, Father. And I'm like, in the name of Jesus Christ, let it be done, right? And then when I would do that prayer, right? Because I believed, now here's the thing, because I believed it was done, my prayer would, what you call, got answered. So I thought it was like this God or like Jesus Christ, they said it was, right? So like, oh, okay, this stuff is real. But I one thing I noticed, I was like, okay, Mark, when you pray, what did you notice was different? When I prayed, because I believed that it was in someone else's hands, it took off all the resistance from me. That's how prayers get answered, people. It's not because there's someone in the sky. It's because you release the resistance. You believe there's someone in the sky. So when I understood that concept, I said, okay, let me try something. I said, what if I just, instead of praying like that, why don't I just talk to myself and tell myself to fix the problem? Because what's happening, it looks like I'm speaking to my own self. Because when I let it go, the feeling I have is a belief in myself, and I created less resistance. So I did the same thing. I started saying, all right, listen, let's work this out. Here's what I want you to do. That's it. I didn't say in the name of this, God. I just said, this is what I want you to do. And I felt so much less resistance. And guess what? My prayers are answered too. I'm like, what the hell? I was like, yo, so this is what they do. This is how the church trick you. All along, I had the power, man. It was me that I was praying to. I was praying to the consciousness, the universe that's a part of me. Because, listen, the way prayers get answered, people, is the release of the resistance. Think about it. When you pray, you put your trust because you feel that there's someone else going to help you, and you believe it, so you let all the resistance go. When you let the resistance go, is your subconscious mind that sees the way now and says, okay, we're free, let me answer your prayer. And then they tell you it's someone else. But all along, you were praying to your entire being. That's how it works. All right, let me go back to the ego, because you got to get this. So I just told you, I said, your own mind, your own ego knows that you are not the mind. Your own ego knows you are supposed to be the boss of it. But yet, your own ego keeps putting you and tricking you to make you believe you are the mind. So why would it do that to me? Let's see if anyone can get this one. Why would my own mind that knows it's a tool, but it's trying to be the boss, why doesn't it let me know that, hey bro, or hey guy, I just want to tell you that you have so much power that you don't even know, that you can create anything and get anything you desire, but I'm not going to tell you that, because why would your own mind do that? Let's see some answers here. Someone says it perfectly. Who we got here? Kerry Washington 4. That's correct, Kerry. The mind does that because it doesn't like the change. Your mind does that because it feels you're going to leave it alone and it's going to die. It's just like if you have a lover or your girlfriend or boyfriend and you're breaking up and something happened, you don't want to break up because you're going to feel like, oh my God, I'm going to miss you. That's what your mind does to you. That's why your mind doesn't tell you that, because your mind feels you're going to leave it alone and you're never going to come back to it. So remember, the mind is all about survival. It's a desperate mind. So your mind says, I'm never going to tell him that he's a true power. I'm just going to keep playing him. If he finds out, he finds out. But I like the control. That's why your mind does that. Your mind fears it's going to die. It's going to say, oh, if he finds out he's his true power, my goodness, where am I going to go now? I don't have any power now. Because your mind loves to be powerful. It loves to control. It loves to get its ego stroked. If you look at human beings, guys, that's what we are. People love to talk about themselves. You love it when someone compliments you, tell you the stuff. We're just human. Your mind feeds off of that. Egotistic stuff. A lot of egotistical stuff out there, people. Why do you think governments are always in power? Because they love the power. They love control. Your mind does the same thing to you. It doesn't want to give up the control. It's like, man, I love this game right here. Why should I go tell him that he's the boss, so I can go back and live in this little corner and I can't say nothing to him anymore? Nah, I'm gonna ride it out. If he finds out, he finds out. If not, it's no problem. And then your mind says, I can help him anyway because I can reason and I can rationalize. That's what your mind says. It says, I'm smart. I can think for him. I can show him stuff. But what your mind won't tell you, though, this is the thing what your mind won't tell you. Your mind won't tell you that, hey, I can help you get some of your things. It's not going to tell you that. Your mind won't tell you that, hey, I am very limited in manifesting. It won't tell you that. It won't say, hey, I could only get you 10% of what you truly want. Your mind won't tell you this either. Your mind won't say, hey, when I can't figure it out, I'm going to make you feel stupid. I'm going to make you feel like hurt. I'm going to make you feel like it's your fault. It's not going to tell you that either. So whenever you find like resistance, whenever you find you can't manifest something, or you can't, it's your mind can't figure it out, and your mind throws it on you to make you feel bad. Your mind will say, hey man, you know what, I can't figure this out, but I'm not going to let him know that. I'm just going to go to the subconscious and make him feel some type of way to make him believe that it's his fault and not me. Because your conscious mind, remember now, it knows about, it's aware of the subconscious, but it's not aware of the higher being, so to speak. It's not aware that you have this omnipotent part of you that's connected. It's aware that it's aware that there's something going on that can give emotions to you through the subconscious, and it can change. It knows that. But it has no higher understanding of this higher self being. Because what happens is when your higher self comes in, your mind will throw it off as like coincidence or chatter because it doesn't know about that dimension. Your mind can't see the impossible because it's so limited. See? Okay. Just love ourselves and respect. That's true, but it's easier said than done. That's what you try to love and respect yourself, but your mind comes back and like tells you stuff you can't do. Can your partner or anybody else block your blessings? No. Listen to this. Write this down. People can only block your blessings if you believe they can block your blessings. People or your partner can only block your blessings if you believe they can block your blessings. The only way something will affect you is if you believe it. If you believe someone put a spell on you, you put a spell on yourself. It's not them, it's your subconscious. If you believe someone's put negative energy on you, they didn't put jack on you. You put it on yourself. Your belief through your subconscious does that. No one can do anything to you until you give them permission to do it. Energetically. A lot of people are weak-minded, guys. It's not their fault. They're easily swayed. They easily believe stuff. And that's why their subconscious does it for them. Now, for the higher awakened people, they are strong-minded and they know this knowledge, they know this secret. They know that what you say about me can't affect me unless I accept it. People can come to me and talk smack all day and try to say, oh, da-da-da. I already know that, I know the knowledge. So when they try to say, oh, this is going to happen to you, this is going to happen to you, I'm like, bro, Okay. A matter of fact, it doesn't happen to me, it really happens to them because I don't accept it. What you don't accept cannot come into your space, people. Only what you accept can come into your space. I'm talking about energetically now. Energetically here. How to train your mind to reprogram your subconscious? That is a great question. So, to train your mind to reprogram your subconscious is you have to now use a lot of pictures and self-talk. You have to see a lot of positive stuff in your mind. You have to do a lot of positive self-talk. You got to use either auto-hypnosis, self-hypnosis. You got to go see a hypnotherapy to remove the blocks. Those are the ways to start to change your subconscious blueprint. It's the only way the subconscious takes instructions. That's the only way you can change it. You can never change your subconscious by conscious alone. Conscious is a vehicle to get to your subconscious. What you think, you become, as someone says, what you attract, right? Yes, I'll be uploading this to the YouTube. How to get a job if you don't know what you want? Then you're not, okay, if you don't know what you want, then you're going to get a lot of inconsistencies. So my advice to you is first figure out what you want. Then you will get a job. You can't get a job if you don't know what you want, people. Yeah, technically you can go out there and do something, but it's something you don't like to do. It's not going to last. So the biggest problem we face is indecisions, guys. Just start. And look, it's okay, guys. Here's the big thing now. It's okay to not know what you want. Not everybody knows what they want. That's why you have imagination. That's why you have to figure it out. That's why you have to be patient. So if you realize, like, okay, I really don't know what I want, all you can do is you can go to your higher self and you can say, hey, listen, I don't know what I really want, but because I know that you are my authentic self and you know everything, can you guide me and show me what's my desire, what's my passion, what's my purpose? And your higher self is going to send you some downloads and you're going to start to get some ideas and be like, oh man, you know what? Yeah, I think that's definitely what I want. I think I'm good at that. I think I could do that. Because it has all your information stored. Now here's the thing about your higher self, guys. Your higher self only feeds you like baby spoons. It has all the food ready for you, but it can't shove it down you, because if it does, your mind can't handle it, you go haywire. So it has to like feed you as you go. It's called need to know. It only gives you information on a need to know basis. Because remember, everything that has ever happened, that is happening, is already happening now. Remember that. You're always being born, you're always dying, you're always living right now. You're already dead. All of us are already dead. All of us are already being born. All of us are already going through our 20s, our 30s, our teens, all at the same time. You're continuously doing this thing around and around and around and around. So just go to the higher self and say, hey, reveal to me what I'd like, we think, and then you're going to get a download. God is the higher self, not your higher self. Higher self and God is the same thing. God is a concept, my friend. There are gods everywhere. Egypt has gods. What is God? It's a concept. That's what they taught you. Concept. Conceptualizations. If you want to call higher self God, fine, it's up to you. But you are the universe, and you are experiencing everything as a collective consciousness. Remember what I said? The way the universe works, there's two aspects to the universe. There's the awareness, conscious part, which is you. Then there's the electrodynamic part, which is the physics. The whole become one. So if you think when you're talking to something out there, a God, you're actually talking to a part of your consciousness that's already a part of you, my friends. How to connect to your higher self? You don't need to connect. You're already connected to your higher self. What you need to learn to do is to be open and accept it. You're always connected to your higher self. Here's the reason you don't feel connected. The reason you don't feel connected is because your ego filters out a lot of the information coming from your higher self. Your ego filters it out as chatter or coincidence or nonsense, and before it can come to you, your ego spits it out of your way. Someone says, yes, I'm a spirit having a human experience. That's exactly what I do. So, okay, someone asked me how to connect to the higher self. So here's how you do it. Here's how I do it. And this is the way I figured it out. The easiest way to connect to your higher self, guys, is to use this vocal cord. Talk out loud. Don't talk in your head. You're not going to reach your higher self that way. You're going to reach your ego when you talk in your head. Because your ego is the voice in your head. So if you want to talk to your higher self, you got to talk out loud. The reason why you want to talk out loud and use your vocal cords, because they carry more energetic vibration. The spoken vibration is a lot more powerful than the inner vibration. When I speak out aloud versus speaking in my head, which one you think is going to get more results? Which one has the more powerful connection to the electrodynamic part of the universe? My vocal cord. So I always talk out loud. Anything I want, I talk it out aloud. I can say it's on a low volume where I can hear myself, but I always speak out aloud. I don't talk too much in my head anymore. The only time I talk in my head is when my higher self says something and I can pick it up in my head. But everything I want or I say, I declare it out loud. Everything. I don't do it anymore in my head. Because if I do it in my head, my ego is there to contaminate it and my ego is going to start. So I talk it out loud. Everything I talk out loud. When I'm walking, I'm talking. I'm walking, I'm talking. I don't care if people looking at me, they say, oh, look at this guy talking to himself, he's crazy. They're the ones that are crazy because they don't know the game. They don't know the knowledge. They're looking at you and say, what the guy doing? I'm doing something that you don't know existed, that the Matrix tricked you with. The Matrix tricked you from you were a kid. The Matrix wanted you to get out of your imagination. At a certain age, they want you to stop using your imagination. At a certain age, they tell you when you see people talking to themselves, they're crazy. That's far from the truth, my friends. People that talk out loud to themselves, they are genius. They know what's going on. A lot of very highly people who know this knowledge, they talk to themselves, but they keep it to themselves. They're not going to talk around you to let you know that. But that's how it works. What is the Matrix exactly? So what the Matrix is, it's all of our beliefs, our personalities, our religion, our government, our schools, our mainstream media. It's all the reality, the ideology they put into your textbook and they put into the mainstream media, and it's all predicated on two things: fear and lack. And the reason it's predicated on those two things because fear and lack will give humans the most responsive action. In other words, when you can have human beings experiencing fear and lack, it puts them in a state of submissiveness, and it also puts them in a state of confusion. So if I can put you in a state of submissiveness and confusion, I have more power to control you. And the way they control you, the Matrix do, is two primary sources: mainstream media, number one, and religion. Those are the two ways. Now remember, guys, what the Matrix does to you is does this. The Matrix knows that human consciousness creates reality. It knows that all of us are connected, and it knows that if I can put information into a collective subconscious in the media, they're going to create it for me. So what the Matrix do, they use us to work for them, and you don't even know it. So we are creating and making stuff for the Matrix, and they're sitting back like this, collecting the dough. And how do they do this? They use the media, the mainstream media. Like this, they go like this. You know what their favorite media part they use to get you guys to create for them? Musicians and music. Artists. Music has hertz and frequencies that really interfere with the patterns of your brain. See, our brain goes to different frequencies. We have alpha, theta, beta, delta, gamma. And these music, they can be put in different ranges of high and low. And some of these music can even make you sick. They can make you throw up, depending on the range they put it. Some of these music can make you feel very euphoric or very happy. So sometimes if you notice you're listening to a music and you just feel sad for no reason, it's because of the frequency they tune it to. They have 8 hertz, 10 hertz, lower hertz. This is all fascinating stuff. People don't even notice. We are being bombarded by an invisible warfare of electrodynamic energy. So what the Matrix do, they say, all right, what we're going to do, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have them create for us. So what they do, they shove this view of reality to all of you so you can create it. That's why they put, you see, lack and struggle a lot, because that's what they want to make you create for reality. See how it works? If anyone knows about music and frequencies, you know what I'm talking about here. That's why hertz healing frequencies work. Yes, you know, actually, guys, if you don't know this right now, music, sound waves killed cancer cells. Sound waves can change your DNA component. Your DNA responds to sound waves. Sound waves can heal the body. It can align the body. Sound waves can also take the body out of harmony. Sound waves can also destroy parts of our DNA. Sound waves goes into cells, disrupts the mitochondria in the cell, where the cell actually destroys itself. That's how they heal cancer cells with sound waves before. But of course, that was scrapped because the guy who did that, the big pharmaceutical companies had to shut him down because it was healing people. They couldn't have that going on. But the point is, the music we listen to is the biggest one, more than religion and more than the mainstream media. Your artist that's coming up and all this music is what they shove into your heads, and then you see people just think like people walk around humming a tune, like yeah, da 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 da. I'm just humming a tune, but you're programming that tune into your subconscious mind, man. Yeah, I'm so broke but I'm happy. I'm so broke but I'm happy. Da 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 da. They think it feels good. I'm so broke but I'm happy. Da 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 da. I'm toxic and I like it. I'm toxic and oh, that sounds good. I'm toxic and I like. See what they put into your head? I'm a player for life. I'm a player for life. Da 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 da. I struggle, but I can make it. I struggle, but I can make it. Da da da. See, these people are humming these tunes in their head, and all along, all their subconscious is hearing is, I'm struggle, I'm in lack, I love toxicity, I love toxic relationship, I love to be used, I love to be abused. So in their heads, they're like, oh, but they don't know that they're programming their subconscious. I like to be disharmonized. Da, 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 da. The struggle is real. Da, 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 da. I don't want to be rich. I just want to make it. Da, 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 da. I love being hurt because it makes me stronger. I love being hurt because it makes me stronger in love. That's all. You see, these people are humming these songs because they make songs like that every day, but you're programming your own mind to bring what you don't want into your life, people. Look, man, you got to protect your energy, people. You have to protect, because we're at an invisible warfare. This stuff you can't see with your naked eye because it's in a different light. It's a different light spectrum. Someone says the fact that people don't believe in none of this stuff is why we'll never evolve. And why do you think people don't believe in this stuff? Because the Matrix, how they put it out. They put this stuff out and make it very funny or very like conspiracy theorist like, and they're like, oh, they put this image out there to make you believe like, oh, this is a bunch of nonsense. Don't take it seriously. And that's the program put in people's head. That's why people don't believe it. But if they don't, trust me, they don't believe it. They feel it though, because their lives. Listen, point blank is, you're going to become what you listen to. You're going to become what you think about the most. You're going to become what the voices in your head says all the time. And you're going to become what you speak out aloud every day. Point blank. That's the electrodynamic part of physics. That must happen. You cannot change that. The reason you cannot change that is because we are tuned in two ways. We are chemical and electricity. Electrochemical. That's how our bodies are made up. Primarily, 70% of our body is liquid water. Okay? And then the other part of our body is electricity. We are electrically charged. When you have these two components and you put them together, they create electromagnetic. You know what a magnet is? A magnet brings stuff in, it attracts. So what people fail to understand is that every day I am a walk-in frequency machine. I'm constantly giving information and I'm receiving information. The sad part about it, and this is the messed up part about it, guys, is we can't see it and we're not aware of it because it operates at such a low density of frequency that we haven't evolved to see it yet. But yet it's being bombarded by us right this moment. So that means every thought I have is going to be converted into electric magnetic wave. Every feeling I have is going to be converted into an electromagnetic wave. Every voice I say, every music, every tone, it has a frequency wave. And it's going to be affected by my cells. My cells will either love it or they'll hate it. I can either heal myself or I can create dis-ease in myself based on what I think and listen to the most. That's how it works. Mark, when on stage on seeing 7s, 8s, should I continue visualize or is a deal done no more? When you see 7s or 8s, the manifestation is about to occur. Occur could mean tomorrow, it could be next month, it could be 6 months, but it's about to occur. So you really don't have to do much. You just have to just be in the present moment. If you feel like visualize, you visualize. If you feel it, that's when you should start do stuff if you feel it. When you start to see the 7s and the 8s, I mean, that's mean if someone's manifesting abundance, money or stuff. So if you see like 7s and 5s, if you're manifesting a change, a positive stuff, 7s and 9s, that means a sudden change, maybe you're manifesting a business or something. But whenever you start to see these numbers, all these angel numbers and point blank, if you start to see them a lot, guys, they're just telling you that everything is all right and your manifestation is getting ready to come true. So now start to just go by how you feel. Same thing with 111. 111 is saying your thoughts are manifesting. Be focused on what you want to think about. Someone says, who's this? Miss Biz to you? Yes, our cells heal with Hertz frequency music. Yes. Even the Earth has a frequency music. Every planet have their own frequency music range. They have their own voice. The Earth, Jupiter. If you could, you guys, you could go do this right now. You could go online and Google, and you could see, listen to the planets, listen to their hertz and frequency. Even the sun has its own hertz, and when you listen to them, they're all alive and unique in their own way. Even you have your own hertz frequency wave. Me. We all give off our own unique signatures. Can thoughts change a toxic relationship? Yeah, okay, so remember what I said, guys. You can't change anything unless something is inviting them to change. And it goes with people. You cannot change a person if they aren't open to be changed. You can't save somebody if they're not ready to be saved. So if you're in a toxic relationship, and this is where people mess up a lot, and this happens with both males and females, especially, I think predominantly this is more with females because females women have so much emotions and they're strong with their emotions and their intuition. So what a woman does, a woman may get in a toxic relationship, but she didn't see it as toxic, but it becomes toxic, but she thinks she can change the men. So because of her high emotions and her feelings, she says, I think I can change him. And they stay in the relationship because of the illusion their ego gives them that they'll change them. And you cannot change a toxic person until they decide to change themselves. A toxic person, guys, is someone that's experienced so much negativity or so much stuff in their life that it became a part of their personality. And they have to want to change. If they don't want to change, you can send all the positive thoughts to them. It's not going to go because they aren't allowing it to come into them. That's how it works with relationships and toxic people. Now, look, I'm not saying that you can help people. Yeah, you're supposed to help. You know, the interesting thing about toxic people or toxicity, like toxic people actually look for non-toxic people because they can calm their problems to those people. They look for that because it takes them out of their chaos. So like a toxic person will look for someone that's stable and not toxic because they can breathe a little. They can say, "Oh man, finally something that's not toxic," because it's something they want to heal. But here's a problem with that though. If a toxic person gets with a person that's non-toxic, it's going to be a temporary thing because eventually what's going to happen is the toxic is going to start to wear on the non-toxic person because the toxic person is going to mix the toxicity and they're going to try to convert you to become toxic. So if you're going to meet a toxic person, you better meet one that's open to change. Then you can change them and help them. If you meet a toxic person and they're open to change and they want to stick with their toxic, you better, it's an L, man. Cut your losses. No matter what your mind is telling you, oh, I can change him. If him or her, you ain't changing nothing, man. You're going to be with it for 5-6 years. It's going to ride until they decide to change. Conflict with toxic and non-toxic. Because look, guys, remember this. The dark will love the light. Dark always seeks the light because the dark wants to be part of light. See, toxic people, they haven't experienced what it is to be normal or feel good. So when they see someone coming in and they say, "Oh my goodness, this person isn't like me. This person isn't like he's not toxic or she's not toxic. Look, they're so peaceful, they're so positive. I want that." So that's what toxic people do. And what they do is, but it's temporary for them. For the ones that don't want to change, all they're looking for is a timeout because they've been so grinded. So they say, "Wow, it feels so good to have someone not toxic around me." They're going to feel good for a minute. But guess what? Because their subconscious mind is addicted to toxicity. If they're not open to change, and if you're not changing them, they're going to contaminate you now. Because what's going to happen now, they're going to miss the toxic stuff. It's like withdrawal. They're going to miss it. So you know what they're going to do to you? They're going to try to entice you to be toxic. They're going to try to say something so you can fight back with them. They're going to try to turn this person that's not aggressive or chill. They're going to try to make you be aggressive. They're going to try to make you hit them. Like people who like to get beat or in relationships, like domestic relationships. Let's use like a woman. A woman is a domestic relationship, a toxic person, a toxic guy, anyone. And this person says they're tired of the toxic relationship. And they find someone that's totally different, someone that's got their mind together, they know the laws, they're positive, and they see the big picture. And they get with that person. But let's say the toxic person that got with the non-toxic person, right? The toxic person wasn't ready to change yet. But the non-toxic person doesn't know that. So they get with the non-toxic person, and everything's going good for a couple months. The relationship's going good. But eventually what's going to happen now, the non-toxic person now is trying to change this person, right? Because they know like, hey, I can't go on longer because this person's going to try to contaminate me. If they're smart, they're going to realize like, yo, this is a losing cause. Let me escape right now before it gets deep. But most of us don't understand that. So what happens now, the toxic person, they're in a 2, 3, 4 months, they're feeling good. But guess what comes crawling? The subconscious emotions that's been trapped. It's addictive and it wants the toxic stuff back. So what a toxic person is going to do is like, man, I'm missing my toxicity. Where can I get it? Okay, I'll put it on you. So what they do, they'll try to turn the non-toxic person into toxic. So they'll try to entice you to fight them or beat them because they used to get beat in a relationship before. Because it's not, look guys, and the big thing is, it's not that they may think they want to, but their subconscious mind doesn't see that. The subconscious is so illogical, it just holds on to the emotion of the feeling of toxicity. That's the truth about the relationships, guys. So if you're someone out there and you're in a toxic relationship, you should know by now if that person is open to change. You will know. So let me talk about when a toxic person is open to change, okay? Versus when a non-one. So let's say you meet someone that's toxic, but they're open for change. Now you can help them. Because now they've given up, they're fed up. They see to themselves, they say, something clicked, and they say, you know what? I can't continue my life like this. I have to find change. what happens now, your positive mental attitude will rub off on them. See how it works? So what you have to understand is it is very powerful out there. It's a powerful world. So what does it mean when your partner what does it mean when your partner always brings your energy level down? It means that you're giving them permission to bring your energy level down. That means you've invited them to affect you. That's all it means. Remember, guys, people can only make you feel a certain way if you allow them to make you feel a certain way. And how do we feel certain types of way? We take things personal. When you take stuff personal, it creates a uniqueness that there's something wrong with you. You know, I will say this about, let me say one thing about relationships too to help you guys to understand this. Okay? You know, when you have toxic, because all of us are broken, okay? We've all been broken before. Nobody came out of this scratch free. We've all got broken family lives. We all have some toxicity in us, all of us. Now, for you guys that are understanding how your mind works, you may be coming out of that right now, but for some people, they're still in it. So let me give you some advice on this. You have to remember that if you're in a relationship with someone that's toxic, meaning maybe they have bipolar issues, low self-esteem issues, you're always going to be in a relationship is going to be hot and cold. What do I mean by hot and cold? There are going to be some times when you guys are going to be doing great. It's going to be good. And then the next day, it could flip. The next day, this person might be cold and away and like dormant. You know what that does to you? How your mind works. When that happens, it's going to make you feel some type of way. It's going to make you feel like you did something wrong. But here's the truth, guys. Whenever that happens, it has nothing to do with you. It's the person view of their own self. When they become hot or cold, it's all about them. It's nothing to do with you. So you may say to yourself like, man, yesterday was so good. You were giving me all the affection. Today, you're acting all cold. Like, what do I do? See, don't do that. You're going to start to get your mind into it. It's nothing to do with you, guys. It's the person. They're going through so much right now. Their minds, their emotions, you know, they don't even know what's happening. That's the thing, because, and it's sad because we don't put any education on mental health. We don't tell people, and we don't show people schematically how their mind works. What is an emotional blueprint? What is the subconscious? So there's so many people out there that's broken and they're toxic. And yeah, they want help, but they just don't know how to do it. And they're doing the best they can. And that's what happens with people like that. Now, I want to go back to what I was saying about how, you know, toxic relationships, how you can help someone in a toxic relationship is, and this is the bottom line. This is where you have to be very smart, guys. You have to vet who you're going to bring into your surroundings. Here's some, look, people, listen, write this down. Write this down right now. Put it on your fridge, put it in your screensaver. There's 2 things that people can ever give you. Okay? 2 things people can ever give you. And these are the 2 things you're going to look for. There's only 2 things they can ever give you. Ready? Write it down. People can only give you value or chaos. Repeat that. When people come into your life, relationships, or anything, you're looking for 2 things. Are you giving me value or chaos? That's the only 2 things can people ever give you, guys. Value, meaning that, are you going to help me grow? Are you going to be something positive in my life? Are you going to help me with peace? You know what value means. You bring value to my life, we bring value together. Chaos, that's very self-explanatory. You know what chaos means, people? Bring me down, toxic, stressing me out. Those are the only 2 things people can give you. And it's a very simple game. If you put it in that, then you'll find so much more success in any relationships, because you'll be ahead of the game. Because immediately when you meet a person, you will automatically know, okay, this person can give me value. No, this person is going to give me chaos. And you can cut it short before it even begins. Yes, that's correct. Someone says this is a good point. Imagine if mental health was prioritized in school instead of other BS. You're right. But we're learning now. But the thing I want you guys to learn and understand when it comes to people, because human beings, human relationships, manifesting, it's all one and the same, guys. And the human component of this is, and this is what I make it so simple for myself, and this is how I do through life. When I meet people or I interact with people, I know two categories. I'm automatically vetting a person because I'm already saying, okay, is this person going to give me value or chaos? And when you are awakened and you're plugged into the universe, so to speak, your intuition is going to help you, right? I mean, come on. You'll know automatically when you talk to someone within 10 seconds if they're going to give you value or chaos. That's what you want to do whenever you get in any type of relationship. It's personal, love, business, friends, anything you're going to do when you interact with people, ask a question to yourself. Is this person providing me value or chaos? That's the only thing we can give. Those are the only two types of people that exist in the world. There are people that will give you value and people will give you chaos. There's no in-between people. So don't think, okay, maybe there's a little bit of chaos and value. No. They're going to straight give you value or they're going to straight give you chaos. That's correct. The ego makes you stay around toxic people. That is correct. So can anyone tell me why the ego makes you stay around toxic people? Why is it so hard to break from toxic stuff? I'll tell you why. Your ego likes to be controlled. Your ego likes to be right. Your ego don't like to admit defeat, people. That's why it's hard for people to be humble. No, it's not to learn. Your ego is stubborn. It's hard-headed. It wants to change people. It thinks it can change you. Your ego says, man, screw it, man. I've invested too much time in this thing here. I got to change this person. I'm going to stay. I'm put too much time into this stuff. Your ego wants to do that. It wants to control. It says, no, man. I'll spend money. I'll put my time. I'm going to change you. And those people will never change, though. You can't change someone until they're ready to change themselves first. You can't send positive healing to someone if they aren't open for positive healing. You can't send healing energy to someone who has accepted broken energy. It doesn't work that way. When you send healing energy, it's just going to come back to you and you're going to heal yourself. It's not going to heal them. All you can do is spread awareness, and if they're ready, they'll catch it. That's the only thing you can do. You can just give your opinion and you can say, hey, and if they take it, they take it. If they don't take it, sorry guys, that's what we call a semblance of free will. Very difficult to change personalities. The only way you can change your personalities if you realize the knowledge of how this stuff works. Now look, there's some people out there that will change. They're ready to change. There's some people that are toxic, but they discovered spirituality. And they say, man, I'm ready to change. Those are the ones you can help. Most people that discover spirituality were in a toxic, relationship. Majority of really high awakened people, all of you guys, most of you guys who are here now, you were involved in some really toxic stuff. But the universe pulled you out of it because you saw the light, so to speak. You started seeing repeating numbers, right? You started noticing something weird happening. That was the clue for you to wake up. You started researching. You started learning more about your mind. And then you discovered your toxicity. You say, oh, wow, this is why I was toxic. This is the possibility for me. Wow, it's in my subconscious mind. And then once you tapped in, the universe started to help you more. It started to show you more guidance. It started to teach you how to meditate. You started to feel more happy. Now you don't feel as depressed anymore. Now you see that? That's how it's going to work with toxic people. They're going to have to do it just like how you do it. They're going to have to find it the same way you're going to find it. You can't force a toxic person to be non-toxic, man. You can't take this knowledge and push it down their face because they're not ready to eat it. I always say this old cliche. Everybody hears this already. You can take the horse to the water, but what? Tell me what? You can't make him drink it. Repeat it. I can take the horse to the water, but what? I cannot make the horse drink it. I can take you to the door, but what? I can't open it for you. You got to open it for yourself. Look, we've all been there before. We've all been there. We've all had toxic. We see potential in someone. We wanted to see if we could change them. We wanted to do the right thing. We think the universe was showing us to help these people. It's not. It wasn't the universe. It was our compassion. Because as we evolve, guys, we're going to become very heightened. Let me tell you something about intelligence and intelligent beings. Intelligent beings on a higher civilization, violence, guilt, lack doesn't exist in their consciousness because they're so highly evolved. We're still very primitive on the evolutionary scale. We're still animalistic. We still like to conquer. We like to control. We like to hurt each other. So we still have this animalistic, narcissistic in our consciousness. But as you're evolving to a higher consciousness, you're going to be more empathetic and you're going to want to help someone, which is good. But it's not the universe showing you a lesson to go help this toxic person. It's your compassion. So when you be compassionate, you want to help someone, you might try to help someone and you realize, you're like, damn, I'm already too late in it, man. Like, why did I do this? I didn't see this coming. Don't blame yourself. It's natural because as higher you evolve, you're going to become more empathetic because you want those people to be free as you. You want those people to experience a fulfilling, happy life just like you did, right? So you naturally want to help them. And that's the case with relationships. Dudes, they want to get a girl and they see a girl toxic. They want to change her because they feel that they can help her value. Women, same thing with a man. They want to help him. They think they can change his personality. They think they can help him change his ways. You can't do any of that. So it's not going to work. The reason you believe in that, we buy into our ego. Our ego is very strong and stubborn. It convinces us that we can change people. But this is the fact. You can't change anybody until they're ready to get changed. See how it works? And that means now, here's the other part to that now, guys. Here's the other part. That means now, from empathetic, you got to come down now, and then you got to be stern. Now, that's where you got to switch the game up. Because you try to help them, now you're going to have to cut them off. You're not mean, man. Remember what I said? People can only give you value or chaos. So you got to be real with the people. You got to say, look, I try to help you. And there's only two things you could help me with. And I was looking for it. You could either provide me value or chaos. And right now, you're not providing me the value. This ain't going to work out. So we have to go our own ways. That's all you got to say to somebody to end it. That's you being your authentic self. We are responsible for your happiness. You don't let someone else steal your happiness or joy, man. If it ain't working, don't sacrifice yourself. Just end it, man. End it. Thing with me, man, I'm quick to cut people off with no notice. I don't give them notice. They're not even gonna get like, hey, I'm cutting you off. I just disappear. They don't deserve it. Why would you do that? I disappear, man. They don't hear from me, don't text, no. They call me. I'm busy. They know I don't have time for none of that stuff, man. People have time to say like, well, Don't do that, people. cut them off without notice. That's when they're going to realize, like, damn. That's when they're going to miss your blessing. That's when they're going to miss a good thing. They're going to realize they had a good thing. Because they're going to go back into the toxic stuff. And they're going to be like, damn, I wish such and such. But you cut them off, man. You move on. That's your value, people. That's your authentic self. That's your respect. You're a winner. You're not needy. You're not desperate. You cut them off without warning. You know, when something happens now. You know, in about 4 billion years from now, the sun is going to expand into a red giant. And it's going to engulf the entire earth. And it's all going to go gone. Do you think the sun is going to give the earth a warning? You think the sun is going to come and say, hey man, I'm going to turn into a red giant and you may want to help me. The sun's going to do it regardless. You can't stop it. So cut them off. No warning. It's like you're dead to them. Like, oh, dang, this guy fell off the map. This guy didn't call me. I'm trying to call him. He's just, what happened? They'll never hear from me again. What they say? They'll never see me again. That's how you got to do it. Because in the long run, you're going to respect yourself. You're going to see your power. And then you're going to attract what's right for you. You're going to attract your tribe, your vibe. Yeah, people call it, yeah, but ghosting people, but you do it, yeah, you ghost people on the right accord, though. Like, you realize, like, damn. And they'll know why, they'll know automatically. They're not stupid, man. They'll realize, like, okay, this guy didn't take any BS. They're going to respect you more. But you know what, don't do all this, because you've done it before. Hey, it's not going to work out. You know, I'm trying to help you, but you did it, man. Cut it off, man. Time is too short right now. You have more things going for yourself. Don't explain yourself to people. You're not entitled to explain anything to anybody. They'll let them spend next 2 years figuring out why you ghost them. They'll figure out because they were toxic and you couldn't take any more of it. And they'll know. You remember this, guys, you are not entitled to explain anything to anybody. You're not entitled to sacrifice your happiness for anybody. You're your own being. You don't have to tell people what you're going to do. You don't have to tell people why you're doing it. All that is a part of awareness. That's a part of high level conscious people. That's called fifth dimensional knowledge right there. People who have people who are in 5D knowledge and understanding, they know human psychology and human construct, and they don't waste their time. People who are highly attuned don't waste time, man. They move on. They cut you off, and they don't tell you. They'll help you, and if they see you ain't doing it, they just cut you off. And if you call them and you do get them, they'll tell you, I cut you off. And then they'll cut you off again with no explanation. Hey, but why you cut me off? Hey, but why you couldn't even tell me? Click. Why, man? What is that going to do? It's going to change? Are they going to change? If I explain to you why you did that, it didn't work before. Hey man, why you cut me off? Mark, come on. I was getting better. It didn't work before. I'm just showing you how to maximize your time and your energy and things that are not worth your trouble. That's all I'm showing. Because it's part of understanding how mind and matter work. Yeah, if someone says it right, it's self-care. You have to be care for yourself. You have to be into yourself. Oh, this guy's cutting right here. So it's, look, this is a big picture, because when you can do things like this, you're going to expand your value, and then you're going to change what's called your attractor factor. So what is your attractor factor? Your attractor factor is how high your vibration is to positive stuff. People who have what's called high attractor factor, they don't take BS. They don't waste time. They cut to the chase. They tell you, they cut right to the chase. They don't go around the corners. They don't go in the bushes. They don't try to think. They cut to the chase. When you cut to the chase, people know that you are a leader. They respect you. I cut to the chase. Why you cut to the chase? Because are you giving me value? You give me chaos. You give me chaos, I'm cutting to the chase. You give me value? All right, now we're going to talk. Because you're on my level. You're going to get my full attention. I'm going to always be there. You call me, I'm there all the time. Because you're giving me value. You give me chaos, you're gone. I moved on. The only time you'll see me is in your memories or if you dream about me. That's the only time I'm going to be there. You ain't going to see me again. And that goes with family as well. Any family member that I've done it, I've cut cousins, uncles off. They never see me again. They'll call me. I'll look at their texts. I don't answer it. Because I know what they're going to bring, man. I don't care. Just because they're what? They're my family? That don't mean anything. They're humans. They're human beings just like me, experiencing the same thing. The fact that they're family make it even worse. I cut them off even quicker when they're family. Because families can affect me more, so I got to cut them off even quicker, man. Anybody that's interrupting my peace. My grandmother always used to say to me, I remember when I was coming there, because, you know, as a kid, you know, you always go to your... My grandmother always say, Mark, don't interrupt my peace. Because I would always come in there, bug her about something. Now I know what she means by that. Mark, whatever you're going to say, don't interrupt my peace. And now I know what that means. I know what that means now. I was like, man, my grandmother was right. I don't want people to interrupt my peace, because when people interrupt my peace, man, it messes up my vibe. It messes up my motivation, man. It's going to mess up my focus. You know what I'm saying? It's going to mess up all parts of my aspect. I'm going to lose my focus, and I can't afford to lose my focus. I can't. I got to stay at a certain level to do what I'm good at doing. And the only way for me to do that, you got to be tough with people. You got to vet people, especially if you're someone that's on a mission. You have a purpose to do. You're doing your life purpose. You have to do this, people. You know, especially if someone that's motivational, high speaking, and you're helping people. Your life got to have someone. You can't have toxic people in your life and be doing motivational stuff and trying to help people. You're not going to focus right. And look, the beauty about this is once you get into this mode, you're going to become entangled with it. So the universe, the consciousness, is going to help you cut these people off even faster. The universe is going to help you get these people out of your life, man. The universe is going to open up a way that you didn't see they open up because you're just so high that these people can't even touch you. They can't even come near to you, man. When they come near to you, they just get jealous, angry, because they're picking up their own insecurities. So they automatically leave you before they come. And listen, this is how powerful it gets. When you get to this level, negative people are going to be, they're going to be allergic to you. No negative people will ever come into your space again because they're going to pick it up and they're going to flee. So you won't, they won't do the okie doke or sneak up on you anymore and say like, it's like, beep, 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 beep. They won't. So only people going to come in your space is people that are already like you in your space. Now look, it's going to be lonely for a little bit now because there's more toxic and hurt people out there than there are more aligned people. So you're going to go to a time where you're going to be lonely, but that's fine though, because you're tuning. You're going to attract the right person. So that's fine, but no, that's how it works. So if you're someone right now and you feel lonely and you're like, why don't people understand me? It's because you've attuned. The people that were coming to your life, the universe is kicking them out because they were going to be toxic to you. So as soon as they come, if you're wondering like, oh man, why didn't that person call me back? Well, that person was so nice. I had a connection. No, you didn't have a connection. The universe, your higher self, seeing something that you couldn't see, and they cut them off for you before they came in and contaminated you. It's going to protect you even before they come in. Your higher self's not going to say, all right, man, look, this person right here, You ain't gonna hear from them no more, Mark. I'm like, man, that person seemed cool. I was gonna do this business with this person. This person had a great idea for business. I don't hear any more from that person, but I know why. My higher self cut them off. Seen it before I saw it. Because I build up this thing. So, no, so toxic people can't beep, 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 choo, 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 choo. Flying off, flying off. That's when you know you've arrived. I've been on my own for about a year and everyone cut off. Yep. Yeah, the family thing is the big thing, man. Like I said, I cut my uncle off. I cut a cousin off. And this uncle I cut off, man, the reason I cut this uncle off, because every time he would call me, right? And this is what talks, so that's why I said family is the same thing. When he would call me, the only thing this uncle would talk about was the struggle. All he would talk to me about was, Mark, you know, see how time is hard. You see the economy. You see the system. You see such and such. And da-da-da. All he would talk about was struggle and lack and how the system and how people and this and that, man. And I was like, yo, I can't have this. I cut him off. I didn't tell him I cut him off. Every time he would call me, I wasn't available. If I told him that, he still would call me. Because it wouldn't make, because that's his story. People have stories, guys. People have their story and they live it and they tell it all the time. Their story is struggle and lack. They're going to tell it to you and they're going to bring it in your life and they're going to talk to you and try to make you a part of it. So that was his story. So every time, because he's been doing it for years, he do it to all other types of the families. He always talk about how he got screwed over, his marriage, the girl took advantage of him, how women are no good, how men are this, how, you know, you can't, you have to be, don't be greedy. When he was talking like, money is not a good thing, you know, I don't need money, I'm like, man, come on. You know, you should be doing this and da-da-da. Like, that's his story. That's probably his story for 20, 30 years. The victim, correct, the victim mentality. And listen, man, imagine you on the other hand, and because your family at first, if you listen to that stuff, no matter how high vibration you are, and it's your family, if you listen to it over and over again, some of it's going to seep in. So I had to protect myself. I'm on a different wave, man. I'm not here to hear your struggle and your lack and your victim mentality, man. You're telling me these things and you think so I just like, I cut it off. I was like, okay. And every time I would change the subject with him, and you didn't get it. When he would talk about lack, I'd say, yeah, so, you know, see such. I would just switch. The man wouldn't get it. So I had to cut him off. He'll be all right, though. He's fine. That's his story, though. So he probably don't even, he just probably think I'm busy still. Probably didn't know I cut him off. But that's okay, because that's how people are. They have their stories. Just like I have my story. I respect their story, but if their story don't match my story, I'm not entitled to listen to you. I'm not entitled to sit there and take time out of my day and waste my time and stuff I could be doing constructive to just listen to your sob story. I'm not your therapist. So I got to do what's right for me, and you got to do what's right for you. That's what makes you incredibly high knowledgeable person, when you can do things like that, because people subconsciously are going to respect you. You want people to be subconsciously respected to you, then consciously respect you. That's deep right there. Let me repeat that again. You want people to be subconsciously respected you, than to be consciously respected. Think about that. What does that mean? That means my energy will introduce me before my words will introduce me to these type of people. Wherever I go, these people don't even know me, but they'll pick up my energy that this person is a strong, self-assured, knows his stuff, and he doesn't take any BS, and you can't trick him, and you can't intimidate him. They're going to automatically know that before they even come to you. That's what you call subconscious respect. We introduce ourselves by our energy before we introduce ourselves with our words. They'll pick that up to you, and they'll be like in awe. And then people will gravitate to you. That's why people come to you and look up to you, because you have something that they can't explain. And they're trying to figure it out. They just know, like, I want to be around this person. This person makes me feel good. This person inspires me, because you're giving off that subconscious energy. See, that's better than the conscious respect, because we are creatures of subconscious habits. Remember, our subconscious is what determines our actions, habits, and reality. Now look, you're going to feel bad sometimes. It's normal. That's your ego. You feel guilt, but don't let that hold you down. When you're going to cut someone off or put someone out or do what you got to do, you're going to feel guilty, but you have to look at the big picture here, guys. The big picture is this person adding value or chaos? Why would I sacrifice myself? And people who get caught up in that is because they don't have the self-love yet. They still feel lack, so they feel they have to please the person or help the person. It's not your job, guys. Let me tell you something right now. It's not your job to fix people. It's your job to give them awareness about what they're facing. That's all you got to do. And if they're open for you to fix them, then you can help to fix them. But it's not your job to just go fix them. Every human being, every conscious person, your entire job is to build awareness around people, to let them know how stuff works, why it's happening, and let them take the map and decide what they want to do. You're just the introducer. You're introducing them to what's up. You're enlightening them. You're showing them the game. You're saying, look, this is what's happening. This is why it's happening. This is why you are the way you are. This is how you can fix it. What's up? They say, man, I've been looking for you for all these years to help me. Help me. They'll say, man, I don't understand the crap this guy's saying. They ain't ready. Man, I don't know what I want. They ain't ready. Man, I've been looking for someone like you to help me. They're ready. Man, this resonates with me. They're ready. Yes, I'm open. They're ready. Those are the people you help. Goes for all narcissists, anything. I'm finding it difficult to cut my mom off. Now look, with my mom, I cut my mom off, but not completely the way I did. So here's what I do with my mom. And this is what we see. When you're a high spiritual person, you have this high knowledge and you know how to deal with people. So how I deal with my mom? Because my mom, she is like a warrior. She always worries, and she's kind of affected by like the Matrix and the news and all that stuff. And she's always would text me and say, Mark, do you see the news? Be careful, all this stuff, because I know she's like, so whenever I call her, she'd always talk about like, what ailment she has. Oh, Mark, I'm having, and so I understand. So what I started to do with my mom? The thing with my mom is she was open. That's a good thing about my mom. She was open. So because she was open, every time she called me and she would talk about something negative, I would switch it to something positive. And I noticed when I switched it to something positive, she would go with that way. That's how I know she was open. If my mom wasn't open, when I talk about positive, she would go back to the negative. But it's still my mom. I'm going to respect her. If she calls me, I'm not going to cut. I'm not going to say no. But if she's going to talk negative, I'll switch it. But if something important, yeah. That's the cutting off of my mom I'm talking about. Now, if your mom is just straight toxic and is just making your life hell, and it's not motivating, every time she talks to you, she make you feel low, worse than yourself than you before, you got to cut her off, bro. It's not helping you grow. I don't care if it's your family. It's because they're people, man. Look, guys, the big picture is this, man. You are here now. The odds of you being born is 1 in 400 trillion. You have a better odds of being a millionaire. You know what the odds of being a millionaire is? 1 in 100 in a lifetime. You can be a millionaire. 1 in 100. One out of 100 person will be a millionaire. 1 in 400 trillion, you'll be born. You defy the odds. You're here for a purpose. So if you're here, I don't care if your mom or dad and they're messing you up, you better cut them off. Because you're here for a purpose. So I'm 1 in 400 trillion. I'm not going to let anybody stop my peace. That's how the big picture, you got to look at it like that, man. You cannot let people dictate who you are, what you're going to do. You cannot let people change. You never should change yourself to fit people. It's not you. You're going to victim. Be yourself. I learned that such a long time ago. I was like a chameleon, man. I would try to be what people wanted me to be. Anything, it only cost me in the long run. So what I did, I stopped caring. I just be myself. I'm like, screw this. There's too much energy to put up a facade, to try to be this to that person, that to that person. This was before I got awakened and before I got my calling, you know. I was that person, just like most people are. Just trying to be, oh, maybe she like, I do this, da, da, da. You know, screw all that, man. Screw all of that, bro. This is me. Take it or leave it. I'm not changing for nobody. Take it or leave it. I'm 1 in 400 trillion. I'm here now. I've already won. I'm a winner already, so it's a bonus prize. What you're going to offer me is bonus. I'm already winning. So I'm going to do what makes me feel happy. I'm going to do what inspires me. If you're a part of the equation, we're going to ride as a team. If you're not, I'm cutting you off. God goes with everything. And that's the mindset of high consciousness people. They know who they are, they know what they're capable of, and they know what they don't want, and they stick to it. They don't let people come in and do this stuff. I don't care if it's my mom, my dad, all of them. And my family knows this. Let me tell you something about my family, guys. I'm very transparent. See, my family is like very toxic family. Like, you know, I'm Jamaican. I have cousins in Jamaica. We call them bad boys. They're like gangsters. They control territory. They're like bad family relations. Put it like this, my family's toxic. But my family, they know me. They know that they don't come around and talk to Mark. They know Mark is the one that doesn't talk to them. And that's fine. They know that, oh, that's Mark. If you're going to go to him, you better be positive. They don't call me because they know what I'm about. And that's my line. See, that's what I'm talking about. They respect. If they ever call me, they know if they're going to call me, it has to be something positive. Or they don't call me at all. They know that I'm not going to go up and visit all around the time. They have big family bar events. They know I'm not going to be there. They know I call and I wish them happy, but they know that because they know that that's not my life. So that's how people work. There are people that are still there. That's their story. And they know my story. And I'm living my story. And that is okay. It's okay to do that, guys. Because at the end of the day, you are only all you have. And it really doesn't matter, guys. We are on this little rock in a shooting target in space right now. This Earth we have is a shooting target. Any moment, a meteorite could come in right now as I'm doing this live and we're all gone. It could happen right now. NASA can't stop it. An asteroid bigger than a dinosaur. We're in space right now. We're in a shooting gallery. It's just a matter of time before one of them hits the Earth. It happened already. The Earth has been through 3 mass extinctions. 3 mass extinctions. Think about that. You know what a mass extinction is? 3 times in the Earth's history as a mass extinction. And there's more to come. It may be what you call a long time, but in space, that's no time. It may be a couple million years, whatever. In 2 more million years, the Earth's going to be in a mass extinction. Another ice age, all that stuff. My point is this, man. We're on this little rock, and everything is shooting to knock you off. We have this thin layer of atmosphere right around. Look, go outside. Look up in the sky. As far as you can see, from 10,000 feet up, if you go above 10,000 feet, that's life. You can't exist up there. There's no atmosphere to breathe. Life begins from 10,000 feet down. That thin atmosphere right there. If a supernova star occurred right now, let's say the star is 2 million light years away from us, and the explosion is pointed to us. That means the light's been traveling from 2 million light years, and it's going to arrive tonight at midnight. It's called a gamma ray burst. If that hits the dome, it wipes off the entire atmosphere. Our atmosphere is this thin. You know what happens? We're gone. You can't breathe. You'll be like, you're gone. The atmosphere just, it can happen right now. I'm showing you big picture, man. So all the things you're worrying about and thinking about and cut them off. You hear? The only thing that's important is right this moment. It's not about the quantity of your life, it's the quality of your life. Don't live your life for time, live your life for quality, man. What can I do in this moment? What's the best thing that's how I view my life, right? As my quality. At the end of the day, it's quality. At the end of the day, it's how much time you have to have peace. At the end of the day, how is it nurturing your soul? How can you give more to help people? That's how it works. But the truth is, and I'm giving you truth, guys, a little tiny rock floating in billions of galaxies with other little tiny rocks. We're in a shooting gallery. There's an asteroid right now with our name on it. Somewhere down the line, there's a mass extinction with our name on it coming to us right now. There's a supernova with our name on it coming to us right now. May not be in our lifetime, but it's coming. Remember what I said. Everything that's already happened has happened. We've already been dead. We've already been born already. Time is one construct like this. Your birth is here. Your death is here. It's all right here. The only person that can see it, what you call higher self, people call it God, whatever, but there's a force or consciousness can look down and see your entire timeline, and you are aware of it. And it goes into parallel dimensions. You have extra dimensions, parallel world where you exist on another world. But as far as we know, if this is this experience you're experiencing right this moment, you're more, if you 1 in 400 trillion to be born, 1 in 100 to be a millionaire. Those are the odds. So if you're watching this live here and you're on this watching me, you've already won. Whatever somebody do to you or whatever you get is just bonus. Nobody can affect you. They can't hurt you. You've already won. Take your power. Stand up for yourself. And live your life to the best. Take no BS. Value or chaos. Let people know. Stand your ground. And do your thing. Manifest. Create. Work on yourself. Change the blocks. That's when power starts working for you. When you think about it deep. What can people do for you that you can't do for yourself? Do you really need people? Do you really need to be in that relationship? Is it worth it? The struggle, the heartache, the toxicity, the arguments? Is it worth it? Your ego badgering you, bashing you, telling you you're not good enough? Is it worth it? If you don't realize that it's a tool? If you don't understand that you're the observer observing the mind, you're not the mind? If you don't understand that you're not even a human being, you're not even human, all you are is electrical impulses spread across your entire nervous system through chemical and electric signals, and it goes to your brain. That's who you are, and it gives you this image of a human being, and I'm talking to you and you're listening to me, but we're not even really here. Did you know any of that? Did you know all of this is a simulation? The brain concept, or what we call hypnotizes, hallucinates our reality with 2 factors, chemical and electricity. Everything you are is on nerve ends. You are a little dot of electricity comprised going into neurons and axons in the back of your visionary cortex, close to the hippocampus. and we see this stuff as who we are. Let's talk about the material world. It's not even material. Let's talk about physical realities. Nothing is physical. It's all concept. It's constructs. None of this is really real. If you know that, then you can release so much resistance, and you can go in your life with power and passion, and you can change the game because you know the science and the physics behind all of this stuff. When someone can understand that what they are seeing, what they are touching, is actually highly dense concentrations of energetic particles that they repel due to the forces of the weak nuclear, the strong nuclear, the electromagnetic force, gravity, etc. That's all it is. The only thing that's real about you right now is the awareness you have. And that's forever. That's not going to ever die. Awareness right now is the only true thing that exists. Me being aware of talking to you, you are aware of watching me. That's all that's ever real. Everything else is concept. Everything concept. Being aware in this moment is all there is. Talking to you right now is all there is right now. Awareness is everything. Awareness is abundance. Awareness is poverty. Awareness is lack. Awareness depends on where you put it, where you focus. Awareness is your perception on this stuff. But the only thing that's ever true is your awareness. The only reason I know I'm alive, or the reason you know you're alive, is because you're aware. That's it. When awareness goes, you're gone, brother. You're out of here. You may be in a parallel universe. Maybe in another reincarnate somewhere. But everything in between is made up by us, the Matrix. What's the meaning of life? Life has no meaning. Look, people will tell you, there's a meaning to life. There's no meaning to life. Life just is. Life is what you make it. Whatever meaning you give it, that's what life is. There's not a one meaning. Life is this. No, man, there's none of that stuff. Remember, you are experiencing what you call life from your personal scope. So that means whatever meaning you give to your life, that's the meaning of life. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them bog your head up with the Matrix stuff and telling you, oh, the meaning of life is this. The meaning of life is you have to do this. The meaning of life is da 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 da. The meaning of life is what you make it and what you see in your scope. Did you know that when you were incarnated or you came to earth or whatever you're here right now through your soul, your purpose could just to come here to just help one person. That was your purpose. Your purpose could come here to help 1 million people. That was your purpose. Your purpose was to plant one tree. That was your purpose. Remember, guys, every possible outcome that has ever happened is happening somewhere right now in the multiverse, in this timeline. So you are always experiencing death, life at the same time. You're always born and dying right now. You're always, every direction, every decision, you're doing it somewhere. It's just another fractal part of your consciousness doing it. The only part is you're just aware of this timeline. But there are other versions of you that you aren't aware of physically yet or conceptually yet. But it's out there because the same particles that make you have to repeat. And we're all connected to the same consciousness. So I can technically tap in to a parallel self of myself, whatever is all happening right now. You're just right now, it's just like at this point in the movie, this is where you're at. Good. Someone says it good right here. We got Miss B2U. Yep. Yes, our purpose is for something that is not measured. That is correct. I like how you said that. You cannot measure awareness and you cannot measure consciousness. That's who you are. Scientists will hook up the electrodes to the back of your brain and they read your thoughts, but that's who you are. They're reading your consciousness. Everything we make up, guys, is concepts. We make up success, we make up this, we make up failure, we make up a lack. It's all concepts that we may create, and then through the concepts, our illogical mind brings them into reality, in what we call reality. So it's like a simulation. See, know what I mean? It's like a game. Hope that makes sense to you guys. Someone says, life is not buying expensive sunglasses. Life is buying expensive sunglasses. Life is buying expensive car. Life is buying expensive house, if that's what I want. Life is not buying expensive glasses. Life is living on a cottage. Life is living in a one-bedroom apartment, if that's what I want. See, people who make comments like this, they don't have no awareness. They don't know what's going on because they don't see the conceptualism of life. What they're doing is they're using concepts brought on through their programming. This person just showed me a perfect example. What's his name here? Flex29. Now you see a perfect example of how people work. That's what I'm showing you. People don't get the game. They don't get the game, man. This is what I talk about, how the Matrix is using people to build for them, and they don't even know that they're being used. They're like, it's like they're working for the enemy, and they don't even know they're working for the enemy. People, life is whatever you want to do, man. If you want to go buy an expensive sunglasses, go do it. If you want to go drive a Rolls Royce, go do it. 1 in 400 trillion is your chance of being born. If you're here, you better go do something. If you want to go chill on the lake and grow a farm, go do it. If you want to be a millionaire, go do it. If you want to be poor, go do it. If you want to make a lot of money, go do it. If you want to be a monk, go do it. No one can judge you because it's all concepts. You want to go win the lottery? Go do it. You love money? Go do it. Because it's all a game. You can do anything you want to do. And why do we do things? We do things because it makes us feel good. When you feel good, what does it do? It raises your vibration. When it raises your vibration, what happens? You become a better person. When you become a better person, you're going to help other people. See how that works? The power of the mind. The trickery of the mind. Most people are their mind controlling them and they're not controlling their mind. And unfortunately, they're here and they don't understand how powerful they are. They don't understand that for them to be here was practically impossible, but yet they are here. And when they're here, they're not taking advantage of the opportunity that they're given here. They're not working on themselves. They're not believing in themselves. All they're focusing on is what they don't have. What is wrong? Why I'm not this? Why I'm not that? And they're hating on other people. Why has he got that? Why does she have that? Why can't I have that? And what they don't understand is they're a product of the Matrix, because the Matrix wants you to do that because your illogical mind now is going to manifest that into your life. But logically, you think has no effect on you, but subconsciously, the very thing that you're putting down is the very thing that you're going to put down on yourself, you're going to experience. Because if you don't know by now, Your unconscious mind only knows one person, you, and whatever you say about all other persons, it's going to think it's you. And when it thinks it's you, it's going to make you experience what you've been hating on, people. That's why I don't judge people anymore. I take people at face value. They introduce themselves, and they do it themselves. Nobody's perfect. We're all going to make mistakes. It's part of the game, you know. We call it mistakes, concepts again, right? I call it feedback. I don't think there's no such thing as failure. It's only feedback. See, that's a game changer for me. You can't fail because you already won. You're already here. So anything you get is not failure, it's feedback. Remember, we are awareness. You're constantly getting feedback. The universe is like a self-correcting code. It will constantly give you information, feedback, so that you can fix or sort out what's happening. That's all it is, guys. You can't fail, people. You already win. You're a winner. You're here right now. That's why I say you gotta dream big. Everybody has a blueprint of what big means. Everybody has a blueprint of what wealth or success means to them. Don't compare yourself to anybody else, any other person's thing. Don't do that, because each person is like their own movie picture. You don't know what they signed up for. You don't know what's in their contract. You don't know what they chose in their soul. So you just got to stay in your lane and build your way, because you have your own blueprint. And I said it before. You want to go buy an expensive sunglasses? Go buy it. It makes you feel good? Do it. Because it's going to help you to create more in your life, man. That's what it's all about. But one thing before I go that I want to show you guys, and this is what I want you to understand. All this stuff that you're hearing right now is knowledge that's hidden, it's kept down. And this knowledge is kept down from a lot of people because of the life-changing influence it can have on your life. And this is what we call the requirements. A lot of the requirements for you to get into that zone is deliberately hidden from us. It was hidden from us through many different channels. And I'll give you 2 requirements right now that will change your life right now. Like, if you take these 2 requirements and you can go and do anything. The first requirement is mind is matter. The first requirement says that we are all co-creators of our universe. We are all affected as a collective subconscious. There is no reality, there is only the mind. The mind creates perceptions which give illusions of reality. So whatever we are thinking about, one day we will experience it if it's dominant. That's a requirement. Okay? The second requirement is the laws of physics. That says that every single thing that has ever existed or will exist is existing and cannot be destroyed. The universe has no beginning. The universe has no end. We learned that with the first law of thermodynamics. Energy can never be created or destroyed, only transformed. So if you think about that, that means you've always been here. You were never born. You never died. I mean, your body decays, but you, the consciousness, the entity, the dark, whatever you want to call it, is part of this universe. Those are just 2 requirements. There's like 6 more requirements, but I don't have time to go into them. But with those 2 requirements, that could change your life right now. That's it. Just want to leave you with those 2 requirements for you to ponder on and see where it leads you. All right, guys. I'll catch you guys again next week for another insightful session. See ya.